Hello, I'm Dr. Sarah Speck, and I'd like to welcome you to our first series of healthy cooking videos sponsored by Swedish Heart and Vascular Institute and the John Locke Jr. Trust. I'll be joined by one of Seattle's top chefs working in a kitchen just like one that you would have in your home.
I was actually living in New York City pursuing an acting career, and to make a living I worked in restaurants and just sort of fell in love with it. Well, Volunteer Park Cafe for many, many years was a corner grocery store. So at different points in my life growing up in Seattle, I spent time there, whether it was hanging out with high school friends or when I was smaller buying penny candy. And what really interests me about the location is that it's all about community. And as my career has shifted and changed, I'm much more interested in bringing communities together as opposed to creating the next hip cool thing in a downtown location. It's also a community of chefs and farmers, so that's really important for me to connect with them and use what's grown locally and support their business as well. My philosophy would be to respect the ingredients and let them shine on their own. Personally, there's not a lot of need for huge cream sauces and butter reductions because really my goal is to source great ingredients that speak for themselves. So there's 3 parts to this recipe. The first being the vinaigrette, then there's the salad, and lastly there's the pan searing of the fish. So let's start with the vinaigrette. So this is a Tarragon vinaigrette that I made ahead of time, but how you can make it at home is in your food processor. So you're gonna add some shallots, some fresh tarragon, honey, and champagne vinegar. So you're gonna add all those ingredients and let it go with the motor on, and then you're slowly gonna add in your oil. Now slowly adding in your oil creates an emulsified vinaigrette, which means that it's all combined and it's not broken, like you'll see sometimes with oil and vinegar, it's all one. Okay, so the salad portion, so what we have here is zucchini and summer squash. And I found this peeler thinking I was just buying a regular old peeler, but voila, it turns out it's a julienne peeler. So
I can get this in my kitchen store?
Yes,
Wonderful.
you can. So in this recipe we have the julienne zucchini, we have Walla Walla sweet onions that are cut very thin. They're so great this time of year. And then we have beautiful cherry heirloom tomatoes, such a variety of colors. And then we have some radish that we slice really thinly. And then lastly, we'll toss in some hand-torn pieces of mint for sort of a bright flavor that hits you at the end.
Great.
Okay, so let's move on to the salmon. So here you've got your saute pan, and we're gonna heat about a tablespoon of oil. We're gonna let that heat. We really want a high heat, so when you add the salmon on the skin side, it's gonna sear it. And another reason we leave the skin on for this recipe is that it basically creates a layer of protection so that the flesh doesn't get overcooked. So what we're gonna do here is that we are gonna salt the flesh. We know us restaurateurs have a bad rap for using too much salt. So if you are on a light salt diet, just don't add as much.
Okay.
So I think we're getting pretty hot there. So here, I'm gonna add skin side down.
Okay.
And we are gonna sear this until the skin is a golden brown. And then what we'll do is transfer it to the oven that's preheated at 350 just to finish the cooking process.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna kind of rotate that oil so it's evenly distributed on that piece of fish. You know, and if it was a nice summer's day and you didn't want to be inside, you could also put it on your barbecue if you wanted to.
Good thing to know.
So we're getting close. I'm just going to let it go just a little bit more.
I'm noticing we get a little light layer of paint right next to the skin too. So it's
Exactly,
starting to cook
so
a
it's
little
starting to cook. So we're gonna go ahead and put this guy in the oven to finish. So again, preheated oven at 350. So in this bowl, we have all of our ingredients for our salad. We have our julienne zucchini and summer squash, our julienne Walla Walla sweet onions, and our beautiful cherry tomatoes and radish. And we have some torn leaves of mint and our vinaigrette, which we already added, and a little bit of salt. So we're just gonna toss that. And oftentimes I'll make this maybe like 5 or 10 minutes before I know I'm gonna serve it, because I actually like it to macerate in the vinaigrette.
Just have the flavors blend a little bit more.
Sure, and it breaks down the zucchini just a little bit, kind of like when you make a coleslaw.
Okay.
So let's check on our fish here. Ooh, that looks ready. Now, if you do this at home, when you put your saute pan in the oven, be very, very careful because the handle is very hot. All right, so when we're checking the doneness of salmon, I'm gonna put my finger in there and see how it bounces back.
Sure do.
That's what we're looking for.
Okay.
So we're gonna plate this up, but let this rest also, just for 30 seconds or a minute or so. So for the final presentation, we are going to mound this salad here in the middle, being mindful of the colors because they're so pretty.
Gorgeous.
And salmon. Oh, we're gonna do this presentation with the skin side up.
Oh, isn't that beautiful?
Now, I'm going to sprinkle this just with a tad of sea salt. You can choose to not do that if you do not want to, but that's how we serve it.
Will you join me in a taste?
I will. That's for you. This
Thank
one's
you.
for me.
Okay.
How is it?
Oh, it's incredible.
Oh, good.
Thank you so much.
You're so welcome.